G'day and welcome back to Derriere Farms. Today we're going to talk about AI workers and how to use them efficiently so you don't get frustrated with what they're doing and what they should be able to do. I have seen and responded to a couple of comments in the forums, as well as several posts in other people's videos where they're getting so frustrated they refer to them, instead of artificially intelligent, as artificially inept. And compared to what they used to do, they are actually quite useful. The first thing that everybody does and will be familiar with their AI workers is continuing the field work you started so you can move on to a new job. For example, I had my AI worker planting these fields. He planted this one, obviously, and worked his way downwards. When he got to this narrow little strip here, because the seeder was a large seeder, it detected there was another field, and he continued to seed field 42, which was just fine. It was exactly what I wanted. It just meant I didn't have to pick him up from here, physically turn him around, and start him going again. That ability to detect fields and move on to the next one can also be a blessing in disguise. Field 58 and 60 have been combined, and I wanted him or her to cultivate these fields, and I stupidly started them at the top, where they work their way down, slowly cultivating away. And then, just like up here with field 42, they detected this field. I'm going to call it a field, even though it's 3 fields sown together or plowed together. And they turned around and they continued to cultivate my canola field. And as you can see, they cultivated almost a third of it before I caught on to what was going on. What I should have done, and here's a tip, to avoid such behavior, is have them started here, then they would have gone up to the next row, come up this way, and they would have cultivated lengthwise, either ending here or ending here. Just as a tip, you always, even when you're working a field, or especially when an AI worker is working a field, you want them to start lengthwise, not widthwise, depending on the shape of the field. Because this is not very far, and so the worker will be constantly turning. Whereas if you start here and you go all the way down here, he turns once and then comes back up and then turns again. So it reduces the turning time and the possibility that they will get confused. The next thing an AI worker does, and I think does very well, as long as you know, again, the limitations, is go to. So I have my pickup truck with my trailer. I've just finished making a delivery to the convenience store, grocery store. It's the other grocery store, not the grocery mart. And I want him to... Oh, where would he go? Maybe go down here and pick up a piece of equipment, or if I had some extra fertilizer that I had stored here and I wanted to move up to here, I would send them down. So the go-to is very easy. You just create a job or even set a destination. So I'm going to set the destination as here, just outside the farmyard, and we'll see what he does. Well, he was actually smart enough to navigate around that building. I didn't think he would because it was a very tight turn, but he figured out he was a smaller vehicle and he had enough room. A truck? No way. It would have only been able to make that turn if a person was driving. And by truck I mean a tractor trailer. A couple of things you have to be wary of is with go-to or any other destination type jobs, the workers will slow down when they get to intersections like here. And notice that bridge back there. If you try and send a tractor or a combine or something that has dual wheels or is an oversized vehicle essentially down there, it will get hung up on the bridge because it's trying to stay in the right lane. And we'll just let that work continue going. We'll go to the dairy because the dairy is a perfect example. That bridge down there, everything except single axle vehicles get stuck on there. Combines get stuck. Tractors with dual wheels get stuck. And the same coming up here. They don't recognize the obstacles in the road, so instead of going around into the next lane and going back, you will get a message saying they are blocked by an object. So, just to be aware, know the map and know where you're trying to send them. And where is he going? He's gone into the yard, which I kind of wanted him to do. But I wanted him to stop in front of the shed, and I guess he was trying to find a way to turn around and park where I wanted him to park. So that's the limitation on go-to. Obstacles, bridges especially, will cause confusion for AI workers. You may also get, as they're traveling, let's say you're sending a worker from over here up to Johnson's Farmers Market or somewhere far away, the longer the trip, the more likely it is that they're going to encounter I don't know what they encounter. I just get a message saying they're unable to find the rest of the route. And I'm guessing it's usually because they got cut off and either had to switch lanes or tried to switch lanes, or something happened and it caused them to be unable to complete the task. 9 times out of 10, though, I've had no problems with the go-to function of the AI workers. Alright, now we're going to try some field work. I want this tractor and cultivator to go to field 53, 54 and actually do some field work. Now this is tricky because you have to know how wide the implement is and there we go, start job, and we'll follow him and see how he does. You have to know how wide the implement is, otherwise he's going to start halfway into the field or halfway across the field, and then you'll have to come back and finish up the job. Because got a little bit of OCD, I prefer to drive the tractor to my field, line them up so that they are in line with what I want them to do, and then, see, he's going to get confused. So I will drive them to the field, and then I will set them off. He may be okay. He may well actually make it now. He's navigated that intersection. Now his choice is, do I go this side of the sheep pen or the other side? And he's going to go this side intelligently. And it looks like I did overestimate my starting position for him. And he is going to have a little strip down the left side of the field, which I'm going to have to come back and do later. But he will finish the rest of the field. So that's field work. Again, same thing as go to. If there is an obstruction or a bridge or something that catches the vehicle up, they won't be able to get to their destination to do the field work. And like I also said, me having a little bit of OCD would have driven the tractor for the whole 30 seconds it would have taken to get from the dealership to here, lined them up properly so that there wouldn't be that gap at the left of the field. All right. Next up, we have delivery jobs. I have this tractor trailer full of wheat, and I want to send it to the railroad silo east. I'm predicting, in fact, I already know because I've tried to do this. It used to work. I used to have no problems with this until I changed this from the smallest silo, the whatever the basic one was, and I put in this massive complex. I think I've got 2 million liters of storage space here now. The other thing I did that the AI workers hate is the barn that was here is now gone. And what they would used to do is they would travel up here, through here, where all the machinery is now, and then they would navigate out here. As you can see, I've also, when I planted my vineyards, cut off their turning area. Oops. So right off the bat, I know that I have kind of foobarred the AI worker. And Betty has completed her task. Well, good. Well, I'm not too concerned about that right now. Let's try and get this guy to we're going to create a job. We'll go to new, not load and deliver because he's already loaded. Deliver. Grain pool east, and we don't want looping. I don't think he's gonna be able to get out of the yard, let alone be able to loop. So there he goes. He's actually detected, wow. This is actually the first time I've used this truck to do this. But he's detected that he can't get out the other side of the yard anymore. So he has done a U-turn. Very smart. And he is now going to follow the roadway. And we will see if he actually delivers to Grain Pool East. This truck, I want it to load, and then after it's loaded, I also want it to deliver. So, create job, load and deliver. I have no idea what Karma 16 is. There it is. Sunflowers, let's do that, and we will Grain Pool East, and we'll try it on looping. Let's see what he does. See, this guy is almost down at the grain pool. I am actually very impressed that he figured out he needed to do a U-turn to get out of the yard rather than trying to crash through the shed. The last truck I had, which was this one, tried to crash through the shed. And yep, he's done this again. He always does this, where he hits the side of the silo. He never used to, or she never used to, but I think I put the silo out slightly further than it used to be when I did the replacement, and that's what's causing the blockage. Let's go check on Grain Pool East and see whether he's done his work properly or not. Yep, there he goes. He's loading and unloading. Let's take a look and see. The ability for AI workers to do their job very much depends on the map maker and how well they plan the pathways or the routes for the AI worker to be able to follow. And if you hit some obstructions, like this one did, I'm going to load it and I'll be right back. Okay, so he's loaded and I'm going to create a job for him. I want him to take it to the mill, some sorghum, so I'm going to create the job. We're just going to do deliver because it's already been loaded. Because like I said, I've altered the silo and the yard, it makes it very hard for even the other truck to come in and line up properly with the silo. Yep, my grain mill over there. No looping. Start job. Is he going to figure out too? Yep, he's going to figure out, just like the other one, that a U-turn was necessary. Like I said, I'm very impressed that they figured out that they needed to do a U-turn, but that might be because the other truck I tried to do it with was a modded truck, and that might have caused a little bit of confusion. Yeah, see, he's trying to figure out which way he should take, whether he should take the side road, whether he should continue straight across the highway. And if we look at the map, once he gets the way I've set it up that he should work, is he should go across here, down here, loop around there, and then dump. But I bet he's going to go down here and cut across. And that's exactly what he's doing, most likely because that turning circle around the grain mill is just a little bit too tight for him. See, he didn't do it. I thought he would. He would have had that car not been in the way. Not this truck. The other truck, this truck we used down here, I've actually had him successfully do a delivery there. He did exactly the same thing. He came around here, took the curve a little bit wider, missed the car, and he came in almost, I was surprised it worked. Come on, Jay, what are you doing? Learn to drive. Anyway, he kind of came in at an angle like this. And so his front hopper he unloaded when he was about here. Then he moved forward and he unloaded his second hopper. I thought that was pretty smart. So, as you can see, AI workers will do the tasks you assign them, providing you know what their limitations are and what parameters to set, as well as what vehicle to use. Like I said, sending a combine down that road where that railroad bridge is leading to the dairy, it ain't gonna work. It's gonna, because it's got dual wheels or even tracks, it's gonna get hung up on the narrow railroad bridge. Dual wheels will get hung up on the other bridge. Tracks are okay. My big John Deere, the 9, which one is it? Large tractors. The 9R, my 9R, which I have dual wheels on. I don't even bother trying to send that places in go-to mode, because I know it's going to cause problems having those dual wheels on it. Great for field work, not so great for AI tasks. Once it gets to the field, fine, I'll set it off with an AI worker. So that is how to use AI workers. It hopefully gives you a good indication of what the limitations are and what jobs they're going to fail at and what jobs they're going to succeed at, depending on, like I said, the conditions and the parameters you set for them. Like, I know if I unloaded now and sent this truck back to my silo to try and refill and bring another load to the grain mill, it's going to get hung up at the silo, and then it's also going to be stupid enough to come down and hit that car. Yet my other truck will, I won't say he'll be able to load at the silo because there's not quite enough turning room for him to be able to get the second trailer underneath properly and keep himself lined up, so that usually fails. But if I load him and then send him to unload somewhere else, it will usually work. If you have any questions or comments about AI workers, leave them in the comments section below. I would love to hear what you're having problems with and what's working for you. And if you are getting things to work, how you're getting things to work. Also, if you found this video useful, give it a like. And remember to subscribe, because I do, now that I'm better, try and post videos on a regular basis. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.